마블 영화 썬더볼츠가 내일 개봉을 앞두고 있습니다. 당장은 엠바고가 있어 디테일한 리뷰를 할 수는 없지만 단평을 하자면 이번 영화는 과거의 악역 또는 모호한 역할을 수행했던 캐릭터들이 중심에 있고 이들을 만나게 한 아이디어가 돋보이며 이게 꽤나 정합적입니다. 각본과 각색 실력, 그러니까 언제 들어가고 나올지를 아는 타이밍과 위트 있는 대사, 예측 불가능성도 돋보였고요. 캐릭터에게 인간미를 허술하게 부여하지도 않고 그렇다고 길게 쌓지도 않죠. 단 몇 마디 대사로 캐릭터의 전사를 파악하게 하고 공감을 불러일으키는 방법은 매우 영리했고 물론 이 캐릭터들만 가능한 지점이 있지만 이 영화 안에선 독보적으로 힘을 발휘합니다. 일부 결점이 있으나 빈틈없는 재미로 충분히 상쇄됐고 미리 말하자면 전 이 영화가 최고의 마블 영화 중 한 편이 될 것이고 아마 여러분도 만족하실 거라고 생각합니다. 그래서 즐겁게 본 만큼 궁금한 점이 많이 생겼습니다. 이 영화의 연출적 의도와 선택들에 대해서요. 그래서 썬더볼츠의 제이크 슈라이어 감독과 심도 있는 이야기를 나눠봤습니다. 영화 감상 전으로 보시기 좋은 내용이라고 생각되고요. 디테일한 본 리뷰는 개봉일 엠바고 풀리자마자 공개되니 함께 즐겨주시면 좋겠습니다. 그럼 제이크 슈라이어 감독과 만나보시죠.
Hi.
I loved your film. It was absolutely amazing. Let's talk about it.
Cool. Let's do it.
이 영화가 안티히어로들을 하나로 묶는 아이디어가 좋았습니다. 서로 죽이려 하거나 버키가 들어오고 목적이 일치되는 과정 말이죠. 처음에 에릭 피어슨의 각본을 보고 어떻게 연출하겠다는 결심이 드셨나요?
Yeah, I thought Eric had such an interesting take on, what you might expect to be a kind of Suicide Squad movie of people, all sent to do covert missions, but instead they've all been sent to kill each other and been discarded and have to learn to work together. We really tried to follow down that path and also kind of think about the Sentry and what that antagonist meant for the rest of our characters and how they were going to have to, confront that threat eventually on an internal level. And as the script developed, we brought in Lee Sung-jin from Beef, who did multiple drafts of the script, as well as Joanna Callow, who had worked on Beef season 1 and also co-created The Bear. And, with the two of them, we really just kept developing that internal side of the film and figuring out what those sequences were and how to represent a kind of a very internal idea, but in an external way through practical effects and that would resonate emotionally.
이 영화의 역학은 많은 양의 대사와 타이밍으로 구현이 됐습니다. 이게 기존의 마블 영화와 좀 달랐는데요. 옐레나가 다들 총 쏘고 주먹질만 해? 라고 묻던지 존 워커가 신분을 밝히라니까 싫어 라고 말하는 장면에서였습니다. 어디까지가 스토리보드였고 작업의 자유도는 어느 정도였나요? 그리고 꼭 넘지 않겠다고 정한 선이 있었는지 묻고 싶습니다.
Yeah, those are good lines. I think the none of us can fly. We all just punch and shoot. I think that's a great Eric line, and the Walker line is a Joanna line when he just says no. She was so good at writing that Walker character. I storyboarded the whole movie, every scene. We had great storyboard artists working on it on a lot of the action, but even the dialogue scenes. I like to have an idea going in, and then often, of course, it changes on the day. You want to give the actors room to play, and then find ways to adapt it. But I would shot list at night and then come in and kind of film the scenes with the assistants, like with an iPhone, and then send that off to the storyboard artist. And so we had a version of the entire movie storyboarded before we started, but I think it's important also to allow yourself the freedom to adapt and not be too married to that storyboard. The other thing that we had, which I know is a more traditional filmmaking process in Korea, but not so traditional here, is we had both of our editors on set for every day, like editing as we went. Harry Yoon, who edited Beef and Minari, and then Angela Catanzaro, who edited Prey, they were there cutting with us, and so we could really discover what was working on the day and what wasn't, and what shots we were missing and how to improve that. We caught a lot of things as we went. I think for me, as far as a line that I wouldn't go past, it wasn't such a protective thing. This was a very open collaboration, but I do think that, we're telling a story about something that is important to a lot of people and a delicate subject. And I think the line that I wouldn't cross is I never wanted to feel like we were oversimplifying that idea. And I would always fight very hard to make sure that it didn't feel like we were lecturing people or pandering to them, or even worse, making it seem like there was a simple solution to these ideas.
이 캐릭터들은 더 나아지고 싶어 하지만 쉽지 않죠. 트라우마나 삶의 절망을 밥을 통해 보는 내면으로 정리한 아이디어가 좋았는데요. 왜 옐레나, 존 워커, 발렌티나를 위주로 보여줬는지 그 이유가 좀 궁금한데요.
Yeah, I think in another world, I would have loved to show the internal rooms for all of our characters. And we did have versions of the script that did that, but it felt like in the end, it felt more important, you know, when Joanna had this idea that it was important that we build up to a big bad at the end and for Bob to confront that void version of himself. And in order to get there, it really felt like we needed to journey through Bob's rooms in order to build to that. And so in a world where the movie was longer or we had more installments, I think we would have been happy to go through those rooms. I think it naturally, obviously, you have to see Yelena's trauma. That's very important. Walker, it just felt like his trauma is so defined, and it felt like Joanna had such an interesting take on a kind of more small human moment of the way that he's processing that. And then when we get to Val's, I think it's just so nice in a movie about how heroes are complicated, that villains are complicated too, and that you get a window into the things that have made Val the way that she is.
방금 얘기한 밥스 룸이 밥이 어릴 때 정말 힘든 순간에 도망치듯이 숨어 들어간 그 다락방처럼 보였거든요.
I think that's a very fair interpretation. I think that what seems to me so sad about where we find Bob at the middle of that is he defines this as, at least I found a nice room. The other ones are much, much worse. And the nice room that he's in is this sort of corner, you know, like up in the attic, but where he can still hear this childhood shame and this idea that you could find safety and security in such a disturbing memory and get locked in that and believe that that is a place that you are supposed to remain and that that's the truth about who you are. I thought was such a that was a scene that Sunny Lee Sung-jin created originally, and I thought there was something so kind of resonant about that this idea that the nicest room actually could still be paired with that sense of shame and sadness.
클라이막스에서 트라우마가 반복이 되는 그 장면이요. 트라우마의 반복 묘사는 이 영화가 처음은 아니지만 뭔가 올가매고 벗어나는 리듬이 달랐는데요. 어떤 의도가 있었나요?
You know, we wanted to just find the most sort of tactile human way of representing this idea. And, you know, if there's a simple way to do it, we try to do it in the simplest way possible, like just with editing. You know, a lot of my kind of transitions are actually just editing transitions or sort of eyeline, you know, match cuts and things like that. I think it was so fun to give Grace Yoon, who was our production designer on this and on Beef and did Past Lives, this prompt of, can you make rooms that represent trauma that are both real and surreal in the same way? And those woods were, I think, maybe one of the best sets I've ever seen her design, with these real trees but painted black and a whole black substructure to the floor with snow over the top of it, and truly painted walls. And it would have been very easy for us to do those walls in post, but we really wanted to commit to this idea that it's in camera. And if you go watch those scenes early in the movie, if you look closely enough, it is just walls, but you never think of that until it's revealed, and that we aren't hiding that with effects. I think that human touch and that human approach and staying within the confines of what we were actually able to create ourselves maybe gives it a little bit of that different flavor.
그동안의 히어로 영화들은 강한 컬러감을 보여줬습니다. 그런데 썬더볼츠는 색을 강조하지 않거든요. 후반부에 그 맨해튼 미드타운 건물은 잿빛이고 또 착장과 미술에서도 그런 느낌을 받았는데요. 이런 시각 연출의 특별한 이유가 뭔가요?
Yeah, Grace would make fun of me a lot for this, but she also was very excited about achieving it. I think I've never, it's something that I have often liked to do, where often you'll shoot things and then you want to desaturate them in post, but then the skin tones go with it, and then if you try to protect the skin tones, then the image looks like it's been sort of treated or adjusted. And so to have the resources to be able to essentially desaturate your image in camera so that so it's not actually a desaturated movie, like the cinematography and the color of the frame is actually quite rich, but there isn't a lot of color that we're photographing, and that requires like a massive amount of effort in the design process and the costuming process. And Grace, working with Sonia Hayes, our wonderful costume designer, effectively create an in-camera palette that is limited so that it doesn't draw your focus away from the faces and the characters. And in this case, you know, it feels like it goes hand in hand with a set of characters in a darker place, you know, that it felt warranted for this story and not just an external stylistic idea that we were bringing to the movie.
이 영화는 캐릭터들이 안티히어로일 뿐인 정말 잘 만들어진 영화라는 생각이 듭니다. 기존 마블 영화들은 나름의 전개 공식이 있었고요. 전 그걸 마블 박스라고 부릅니다. 썬더볼츠는 그 박스에 잠깐씩 들어가는 순간도 있지만 거의 밖에 있었거든요. 특히나 마지막에 어둠 속으로 걸어 들어가는 옐레나의 선택이 그랬는데요. 어떤 의외성을 주고 싶으셨는지.
I think we just wanted to follow the characters on this story and really see what see what felt natural to them. I think that we always talked about that we weren't trying to necessarily break the mold of what a Marvel movie was or try to run away with this or make the weird one, but really just try to make a movie that felt like when you got to the end of it, especially given the way that it ends, that it should feel like, oh, this had scale and scope, and it felt like a Marvel movie, like in the end, like it felt like it lived up to the legacy of what, the very best of Marvel could be, but it got there in this very different path and direction, and so it was sort of a blend of those two things we were trying to find.
옐레나가 중심에 있고 블랙 위도우 이후의 이야기라 옐레나는 공허하고 불행하다 못해 공허 자체가 된 밥을 구원합니다. 영화가 끝나면 관객들이 옐레나를 어떻게 봐주길 바라셨나요?
I would hope that they see in Yelena someone that they can relate to as themselves. I think that something that Sunny and I talk about a lot, is like if we're a natural introvert or not. And I think that I am someone who comes off potentially as a little bit introverted. I don't know if that's my natural state or if, because I when I was a kid, I could be much more outgoing. And I think certain things happened in my life and I've ended up this way. I think that Yelena, in talking to Florence about the character, she's had these incredibly charming moments in these other movies, even as someone who's gone through all this trauma. And I think that there's this question of like, is this naturally who you are or has circumstance made you this way? And I think that she's someone who really is a caring person and is really just yearning for a sense of family and connection, but the world has not provided her with that. And so she's gone more inward and become this kind of more caustic, gray character. But through the events of this movie, like we can find that warmth in her and she can find that in others. And so there's this very exciting idea that she could be one of these heroes. But again, there's who we are and then there's the world that we confront and what we experience. And I think that through this set of experiences, it's very exciting now to watch her go on in this world and imagine what she could be.
액션 시퀀스를 보니까 로닌 같은 영화나 다이하드 스타일도 일부 가미되어 있었거든요. 버키가 등장할 때는 미션 임파서블 2에서 톰 크루즈 같았고 어떤 면에선 또 터미네이터 2에서 아놀드 슈워제네거 같았는데 총과 주먹을 쓰는 인간이지만 히어로 맛도 내야 되잖아요. 이런 액션 연출에 있어서 어떤 고민이 있으셨는지.
Yeah, it felt like a real opportunity because, in the same way that people would make fun of us, oh, you just have a bunch of super soldiers and street level heroes, that's also an opportunity to do a different kind of action than you're used to seeing in the MCU. And then it also felt like, okay, so we have that, and that's an opportunity to reference, again, more grounded action movies like the ones you're talking about. But then, towards the end, of course, there is a level that it gets to that is on that same scope. So it felt like we could have fun in that world and then know that we had somewhere to go. And that was something we also talked about with Sunlux and our music, that, it wants to feel like very different music at first, but to leave room and to have big themes that once we get towards the end could operate on that scale of a more traditional superhero film.
네, 늘 느끼는 거지만 잘 만든 영화일수록 창작자와 더 많이 얘기하고 싶습니다. 그래도 궁금했던 점에 대해 충실하게 답변을 드릴 수 있었고 여러분께도 도움이 되셨으면 합니다. 곧 제 시각으로 본 썬더볼츠의 본 리뷰 영상이 개봉일에 공개되고요. 여러분께 썬더볼츠의 예매권을 드리는 이벤트도 준비했으니까 영상 고정 댓글과 설명란을 봐주시면 감사하겠습니다. 이번 영화 함께 즐겨보시죠. 지금까지 기묘한 K씨의 K졌습니다.